Hello! The price of Bitcoin is $34,248. I have still got my long position open on BYBIT. I've also still got my open position here on BitGet that you can see. Yesterday, I discussed at 1 o'clock in the morning or whatever it was about whether or not I was going to close my trades. And I said, I think this weekend it's going to be fairly flat. I mean, we've seen a pump up already once, but it got rejected instantly. I think this weekend is going to be fairly flat, and it's all going to kick off on Monday because of some recent news about Blackrock clearing one of the fines that was preventing them from launching their ETF. So the question is, has anything changed since yesterday? And the answer to that is quite simply yes. How has things changed since yesterday? Well, if you want to know more, drop a like on today's video. Make sure if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. Like honestly, this channel is growing like crazy right now. Let me show you something. Look how fast this channel is growing right now. We've grown by 268 subscribers over the course of the past month or so, but yesterday we got nearly 60 new subscribers. So if you are one of the new bunch, thank you very much. Drop a like, and if you're not yet subscribed, subscribe. Come on, this crypto community is growing. The crypto space is growing. If you want to hop on the wagon, hop on, subscribe, and let's talk about what's changing in the world of crypto right now and how we can capitalize on it. So starting out, this of course is the daily chart right here, and the daily chart you can see we rally up over the course of the past couple of weeks, and then we're currently penanting out. But if we drop down onto a lower time frame like the 15-minute chart here, and we zoom out a little bit, yesterday night when I filmed my video, the price of Bitcoin was kind of at this level right here. I said, I don't think we're going to break to the downside. I think we're probably going to hold in this range and continue penanting outwards. And that's exactly what has happened so far today, with Bitcoin's price reaching a peak up here of about $34,508. And I said yesterday, look, if we crack this level of resistance here at $34,200, it is likely that we pump to the upside. And we did do that. It just didn't last very long, and it got smacked down as soon as it had come up. So the question is at this stage, what is going to happen from here for the rest of the weekend? And I think we've got a lot more ranging to come. To be honest, I'd be surprised if we didn't break up to this level up here at nearly $35,000. And at that $35,000 level, should we hit it tomorrow, this trade here will probably be somewhere in the range of about $65,000 profit, and I will close 10% of this trade. Now, you may notice actually this trade is slightly smaller than what it's been in previous days. It's now only a $1.6 million trade. So combine that with this trade here. This trade is a $200,000 trade, meaning that currently my exposure to the market is somewhere in the realm of about $1.8 million. It's a sizable amount of money, but not as much as what it was earlier on in the week when the exposure to the trades, earlier on in the week was about 2.2 million at its peak. So I'm down a fair bit in terms of my sizing, but that was simply because the other day, when it's getting close to my entry, I'm going, I mean, if you've not seen the leverage on this trade right here, it's isolated 100x, which makes my liquidation point basically right next to my entry. There's really not that much space. It's $167 between my entry and me getting liquidated and losing $16,800, which is part of the reason why I closed the trade. Ultimately, look, I've taken $48,000 worth of profit. If I lost 16 on top of that, it means I still walk away with a $32,000 profit. But I'm in it for this number right here, the one that's flickering around and moving. I want this to say $100,000. And so for that, we need to be plotting on the chart right now, and we need to be discussing what is going to happen to the price of Bitcoin. And we could potentially see a $100,000 profit on the trade, I think, if it's up at $35,000. I mean, if we're looking here, $34,200, that'd be $800 per Bitcoin profit. And currently in this trade, there's 47 Bitcoins worth of trading, or 48 Bitcoin pretty much. So call it an even round 50 times 800. Come on, quick mental maths. Comment in the comment section below. 50 times 800 is, I should know this, $40,000. So that'd be an additional $40,000 on top of what we've got here. So that'd be an $80,000 profit should we get to $35,000. So I will take 10% at those levels. So that'd be an $8,000 removal from the trade. But at that point, then we're looking for a break above this $35,000 level. At that $35,000 level, the question is, look, are we going to break to the upside, or are we going to get rejected and smacked down again? Well, we're going to talk about that in just a second, but of course, if you are interested in trading, check out BYBIT and check out BitGet. You'll find links to both of them in today's video description. If you are in the UK, BitGet is your best option right now because you can't use BYBIT. If you're outside of the UK, use the link for BYBIT because BYBIT is the best exchange outside of the UK, but currently inside the UK, the best exchange that you can use is BitGet. You'll find a link in today's video description. If you use that link for BitGet, you do get up to $8,000 for free and $15 literally for just making an account. If you're wondering how much money I trust BitGet with of mine, there's currently, what, $50,000 in this account. This has been as high as $60,000 in the past week or so, but I've not withdrawn. It's just been flickering around. And in terms of BYBIT, well, we've got $164,000 in there. So a decent amount of money between the two exchanges. I do trust them and I do use them, and I've used them both for years at this point. So check them out. You'll find a link in today's video description. But moving on from that, back to the price of Bitcoin. What are we looking at and what can we expect from this? Well, this is ultimately a bull flag or bull pennant. Call it what you want. A pennant is like a triangle shape, and a flag is more of it's more of a pennant than it is a flag. But still, call it what you want. I don't care. There are people in the comment section that'll get all fancy pants about it. Oh, you call it the wrong thing. Call it what. I don't care what you call these things. Ultimately, I've been doing this since 2016 full time. So yeah, it's one of them where, I mean, not full time since 2016, but part time since 2016, full time since 2020. So it's been a while since we've been doing it all full time. It's crazy to think that, actually. No, full time since 2019. So full time 4 years at this point. It's been a while. Yeah, you do pretty well when you go and actually trust your own decisions. And I mean, if you're watching this channel and you are new, I'm the guy that tells you to trust yourself. Because there's nobody that knows how to make a decision better than yourself. Don't trust anybody else's opinion above your own. Now, going back to the price, yes, we're looking for a breakup here on Monday. And what is the likelihood of that breakup? Well, in yesterday's video, we discussed this. Blackrock agreeing to pay a $2.5 million penalty to settle the charges from the SEC. Now, these charges have been preventing Blackrock from launching their spot Bitcoin ETF, because you can't do that if you've got outstanding things from the SEC. So by clearing this thing up, that clears the road then for BlackRock to launch their ETF potentially as soon as next week. I think it's going to happen. I really think the market is warming up for something at this moment in time. And if you are a user of Crypto Saving Expert, don't forget there is light mode and there is dark mode. So check that out on cryptosavingexpert.com. But moving on to a couple of other things I wanted to discuss in today's video that I think will affect the price of Bitcoin. The first thing being the UK needs a digital pound by the end of the decade, according to the Bank of England Deputy Governor. So it looks like we're going to get central bank issued digital currencies. And if you know anything about that, if you have a central bank issued digital currency that is compatible with a cryptocurrency exchange, that is better than an ETF. That is some tremendously bullish news. Everyone talks about, we don't want CBDCs. I do. I really do. Because that opens up institutional volume to crypto exchanges, because they can't stop you from integrating their coin as a currency that is tradable within the exchange. Meaning that we get opened up into a digital forex market, and in a world of digital forex markets, combine that with the crypto market, the market's balloon. We want CBDCs. We don't want to use them, but we want them for what they're going to bring to us. So bring on the CBDCs, everybody. I'm not going to use them. At the end of the day, I'll still use Bitcoin. Like, they can have CBDCs. Bitcoin will be the new safe store of value. Anyway, that's good news. The other piece of good news today is that Solana could rise to $3,211 by 2030 in a bullish scenario, according to VanEck, which is an insane prediction. But don't forget, VanEck is not just like a guy on YouTube. VanEck is not me. It's not clickbait. This is VanEck doing maths. VanEck is a huge, huge company, and they've even submitted their own Bitcoin ETF application, along with Valkyrie, along with Grayscale, along with Blackrock, VanEck, and all these other ones. There's so many Bitcoin ETFs that have been submitted, and some of them will get approved. Solana could also dip to $9.81 by 2030, but it makes less as a fun headline. If you want to read more about this, I am buying Solana. Not at these prices. I'd quite like it to drop a little bit again first, but I have bought some Solana around that $20 level, and I really do think it's a decent shout for the future in terms of like blockchains that have been heavily dumped on but still maintain high user bases. So Solana is definitely one of those. Anyway, back to the price of Bitcoin, $34,210. If we break $35,000 come Monday morning, things are looking very rosy, because if we zoom out on this chart, what happens on a break of $35,000, which is kind of the peak of this line here? Well, we go up to 37, and at $37,000, that is the take profit on my trades. That is the level I want to see Bitcoin get to before I close the trades that we've got open here. $40,000 profit, and what have we got on this one here? $23,000 profit at this moment in time, so about $65,000 profit all in all between those two trades. Not bad, not amazing. I want to see those numbers higher than what they currently are. So the target is $37,000. At the same time, we must consider the downside of what can happen if things go wrong, because things do go wrong in the world of crypto. Not everything goes as planned, and you can lose money. It is important to point out that nothing is without risk, and this is ultimately a game that is not for the faint-hearted. There's not many people that would dare hold on to a 100x long position when it's at their entry. Most people would close it. My balls are so used to being slapped around by Bitcoin. I feel nothing at this point. I'm numb. So I can take getting slapped around in the balls all day by Bitcoin. If I think I'm right, I'm sticking by my trade, and I'm gonna hold out for it. And on this occasion, I do think I'm right. But here we go. The level of support here. Look, if we're gonna start trading below the level of $33,500, that is kind of when it's all over. That's when you'd be expecting a drop down to the lower levels here. And if you were to be plotting it, you'd be looking at, I'd be expecting something like this, where you come down to around 32,900, and a loss of 32,900 means you lose all of the recent gains and drop back to $30,000. That's not what we want to see. We want to see some decent price action, but it's also important to consider the CME gap is currently at $33,900 is where the CME gap is currently sitting. If we go down to the chart here, this is where the CME gap sits. In fact, no, it's at $34,100 is where that CME gap is currently sitting. So, because the CME gap is currently sitting at $34,100, we can not really, I mean, if it goes up, it's going to come down. If it goes down, it's going to come up. Whichever direction it takes, take the opposite trade. You'll probably make money on it. That's not financial advice. Again, come to your own decisions on these things. I'm kind of just explaining what I do in these scenarios. But on that note, do drop a like on today's video. Join the TMG Trades community. I really appreciate it by subscribing to the channel. If you are interested in trading, check out the links to BitGet and BYBIT in today's video description. BitGet if you're in the UK. If you're outside of the UK, check out BYBIT, and have a great day, everybody. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.